Welcome back. Thousands of pupils in Limpopo continue to be exposed to poor sanitary conditions. Fed-up parents at the Ramogobe Primary School in Ramangoana Village near Polokwane have built 2 pit latrines covered with corrugated iron. So why is the Department of Basic Education still failing to provide proper sanitation in that particular province? Let's bring in Section27's legal researcher and former student activist Motheo Brodie. Motheo, thank you so much for your time. Why has the Department of Education failed to put together a plan on how they will eradicate pit toilets?
Firstly, thank you for having us, Clement. That is such a good question. And, on the 6th of August, we were back in court precisely on this issue. Because I think your viewers will remember that back in 2018, we were in court on for the Komape case, where a learner fell into a plain pit toilet, and died. Now, after that case in 2018, the department was ordered to give the court a plan, right? A plan of action of how it's going to fix the sanitation in the province. And the department has failed dismally to provide that plan. One will see that when you look at the plan that has been submitted by the department, you'll see that there's an issue of data that the department suffers from. There's various data sets that contradict each other, first of all, about how many plain pit toilets there are in the province. You look at the SAFE initiative that was launched by the president, but is with the province now, you'll get a number of 507. You look at the NEEMS report, which is also a departmental report, you get a different number, which is 768. Now, how does the department even begin to fix the problem of plain pit toilets, which are, by the way, unlawful as of 2013 when the norms and standards for school infrastructure were gazetted? How is the department expected to fix the problem when it doesn't have the numbers? But secondly, Clement, we also know that there's a problem of underspending that the department is going through. The department has the funds. It can't rely on the defense of we don't have the money. Historically, from 2014, the department has underspent about 700 million rand in money that was meant for the eradication of pit latrines in the province of Limpopo. And so we have then gone to court again on the 6th of August to say that, look, Judge, the department has not provided the plan that you have ordered them to provide. And what we are asking you is that you declare the plan that they've provided to you unconstitutional. But second, Clement, and importantly, we're asking that a task team is set up. Because
maybe that's what we need, right, Motheo, to put in check at the Department of Education. I mean, what was expected from the department? Because it's been, 3 years now since the court ordered the Department of Education to provide that comprehensive plan and audit of the schools with sanitary needs. Those plans were submitted. They were unsatisfactory. They were littered with inaccuracies. You say there's a data problem. From the work that you have done as Section 27, what's the true sanitation on the ground? I know you've had to hire a private company to look at publicly available data about pit toilets.
Yeah. So the problem on the ground is it's difficult to give you a number when there aren't any independently verifiable numbers, right, from the department. And that is part of why we've asked for this task team to give us independently verifiable data that's reliable. What we can say is that the data that's come from the department is so inaccurate that there were schools that we know of that had pit toilets on premises, right? But in the list that was submitted to the court, the so-called plan that was submitted by the department, those schools weren't on that list. So that just shows you that, the data that's coming from the department is not verifiable. And that stresses the need for this task team that I spoke of earlier.
Yeah. So how confident are you that the department will be put in check with this committee that's established to monitor the implementation of the plan? Do you think they will follow through?
Well, we shouldn't put the cart before the horse, Clement, because this were arguments that we made in court on the 6th of August. And we've asked the judge in the Polokwane division of the High Court to order the department to establish this task team. And what we're asking is that this task team compromises of a infrastructural management independent expert, right? That's going to ensure that the data that's coming from this exercise is accurate. But we're asking that this task team also includes civil society representation. We're asking that this task team also includes officials of the Limpopo Department of Education, the Limpopo Treasury, and other relevant implementing agents for the construction of proper sanitation across schools in Limpopo. Because we know that this can't continue for much longer. We have lost too many lives to pit latrines that are unlawful. We know of learners that have fallen into pit latrines that fortunately haven't died, but have suffered health consequences and have suffered real serious health consequences from drowning in pit toilets.
Yeah, I really am, Motheo, struggling to understand what's so difficult about the education department getting this simple thing right, because at the end of the day, it's also about the dignity of those children. You've spoken about how they're managing the school infrastructure budget because they have underspent in the past. An excuse that they've given is that they've been experiencing budget cuts as the department. The national government would often say, these are the number of schools we want you to go and sort out, build proper toilets, sort out the sanitation, with no budget that accompanies those the commitments that the national government makes.
Well, we frankly don't think that is an acceptable excuse. Like I've said, for years prior to budget cuts, there've been gross underspending of the budget that has been provided to the department, right? And in the years where those budget cuts weren't there, they were still not meeting targets. Historically, we're not just talking about the previous year or the past 2 years. We can go back to 2014 to detail how much underspending has come from the department. Like I've mentioned, 700 million from 2014 to 2020 in terms of underspending from the department, and also mismanagement. And frankly, in the arguments that were made in court on the 6th of August, the department didn't show this evidence that the reason why they're not meeting targets to eradicate pit toilets is the budget cuts. In fact, the deadline that has been given by the Limpopo Department of Education for the eradication of pit toilets is 2031. That's the nearest date that we can expect, according to the plans that have been submitted, that pit toilets will be eradicated across the province of Limpopo. And so, frankly, it's not an acceptable excuse, especially in the absence of evidence to the court that there have been budget cuts which have derailed the program of eradicating pit toilets in Limpopo. Yeah,
Motheo, thank you so much. Yeah, let's hope things are going to move faster and we're not going to have more kids dying because of lack of sanitation.